Hi, so my name is Mew and I'm currently working in a big tech company as a AI engineer. So today what I'm gonna discuss is what are the required qualifications or what does it take for a beginner to actually become an AI engineer. So let's get started. To begin with, I would break down this problem into two main areas. The first area is hard skills. So, what hard skills do you actually need to become an AI engineer? Having interviewed many candidates into the roles, I could see people with different hard skills, but the hard skill that kind of matters the most for AI engineering related role is um, I think it would be your main problem solving skills. So I think one of the areas which will contribute to your success in uh, getting hired as an AI engineer is whether you have done some kind of basic coding or lead code style kind of questions. So here I would advise um, some people may or may not like lead code, but I would advise you to know just the basics level of lead code, like easy to medium amount of lead code. That should be a good starting point. You do not need to go into too much depth into lead code as long as you can easily communicate with the interviewer. The level of knowledge, um, a very simple level of knowledge should be sufficient. So the first hard skill I'd recommend you polish is your basic coding skill using LeetCode to leverage that. And the second part of the hard skills that you really need, otherwise it'll probably be very difficult for you, is basics knowledge about AI. So for example, if that interviewer asks you about what is let's say you did a project on XGBoost regressor, and an interviewer asks you kind of question like how do you train the model, how do you evaluate it, why you chose this model, you should have a very good answer for this and prepare well for everything, that every project you put down in the CV, because that's the source of the conversation where it will start off with. So nail down your basics, so that is very solid. And I think for AI, I would recommend, if possible, for you to be well versed in many areas like traditional machine learning aspects, so building basic models like XGBoost, random forest, things like that, and also with the generative AI kind of stack, so that having knowledge in the newer generative AI kind of stack would greatly help you in the interview processes, especially because these days companies are trying to adopt generative AI into their applications. So that's why this skill set would be very valuable for you to get hired. And another very important aspect of hard skills that would be very important for you to get hired is software engineering related skills. So what I mean by that is, or actually machine learning engineer related skills. So what I mean by that is, if you're a data scientist or an AI engineer, at the end of the day, after you build the model, you will need to ship it and productionize it, monitor it, govern it. So for sure, having good skills in software engineering and understanding of how building software and into like different phases, development, production, pre-production stages, would greatly help you in the interview process, because having this deep software engineering knowledge as well will make you very valuable, because that is when I go into a data science team, I see very few people, depending on the company you are at. In certain companies, some people may be very, very expert in AI and business kind of area, but they're very inexperienced in the software engineering related role. So having this hard skills in software engineering would greatly help. So to summarize for hard skills, practice a lot of lead code and know your AI basics, traditional to generative AI, and be proficient in software engineering related roles. And would like to move on to the next part, which is the soft skills. So aside from having these hard skills, some soft skills what you really need is understanding so the values that AI would bring you. So what I mean by that is you should be able to articulate the values why you're doing the project you're doing and what values it can bring, and show the potential that you can prioritize this project is more valuable compared to another project because of certain reason. The main reason is because that's part of your job. So when you actually start a job in AI engineer or data scientist related role, you would need to gather business requirements from end users or the people that's trying to use the AI. And you would have many requests, and you would need to scope down to the requests that you think that matters. So the skills set of actually gathering requirements and knowing which AI models to prioritize for which use case is exceedingly important. And this will help you greatly as well in the interview. And just a little bit of aspects that I would like to touch upon is leadership skills. So generally when interviewers try to interview you, they would try to see like how well will you actually work with them in the future. And if you're able to let's say lead a university project, or let's say you're transitioning from a previous role to an AI engineering related role from a completely unrelated role, then if you could talk to them about the experiences you had to lead certain projects, then that would be a super plus for your profile. These are the two kind of hard skills and soft skills you would need these days for trying to get into the role. And I would like to conclude with the last thing actually that is quite important for you to get a role in this area. So the last area is research skills. As long as you research well about the company that you're applying for and your interviewer, then you should do well. I would like to emphasize on what I mean by researching your interviewer. So typically when I try to apply for jobs, especially in AI engineer or data scientist related role, what I would do is I would look up the interviewer profile on LinkedIn and see their experience, whether they're specialists in NLP, XGBoost, traditional ML or software related area or others. Then I would try to prepare and brush up my knowledge based on the interviewer's strength. Because at the end of the day, the interviewer will try to talk deep about what they know best. As an interviewer, they are more comfortable because they're human as well. They will try to be comfortable to talk about what they know best. So if we're able to be comfortable in the topics that they are comfortable with as well, that will show a great impression on them. So these are the tips that I have for you guys, and this is it for this video. And I hope you are able to, from this video, get a starting point of what to prepare next if you are very interested in an AI engineering related role. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and then I'll be there to help.